Happy November, Leo. My name is Nigel, and you have found ÄLKØMԻ. Welcome to your November 2024 reading. Let's get into it immediately. You pulled two of these cards. First one being Mercury. You know, fun fact, Mercury is going to be in retrograde in November. It starts on the 25th. And it's going to be in retrograde until December 15th. The shadow aspect of the Mercury retrograde will be with us approximately a week before that. So it's just a fun fact to keep in mind for this reading as we go along. Mercury is in charge of signals, messages, tricks. It rules commerce and communication. It's related to the god Hermes, the messenger of the gods. He can be seen in all things with wings. The caduceus. So you could be in the medical field. You could be associated with the medical field. You don't have to be. But the caduceus is involved here. Interesting. We'll get back to this for sure. But this is coupled with the sublimation card. And the sublimation card is elevation. It's rising, right? Taking flight. Another airy type of energy, right? It's like a dissociation. When this card appears, you might want to reconnect with feelings you may be avoiding. You may be avoiding something here, Leo. You may want to dissociate from it. You may not. You may wish to act like it's not there. There may be feelings you're repressing. Right now, I'm guessing because we just started the reading, and at the end, we're going to piece everything together. So here we have overarching the month here. We do have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is Venus and Taurus. This is you working towards goals, persevering, having patience maybe. Definitely progressing. This is like slow and steady. What are you working towards? You're working towards something here. You have the Justice card right underneath. You've pulled this card before in the past. It says, by the power of 3x3, Mat, deliver justice to me. We know Mat is the Egyptian goddess of truth, right? Truth, justice. Originally, she determined the sun's daily course. So in that way, yes, it's Libran energy, right, with the scales. But in that way, the fact that she determined the sun's daily course, she was also, I think, the daughter of Ra, the sun god. She, in my opinion, because of that association, she is also associated with Leo. And this is in reverse. When these cards here are in reverse, there's not much you need to do to attain it. Justice will be yours. Balance will be yours. It's going to come to you naturally. There's going to be a lot of energy at play this month to make that possible here, Leo. You have family, so there may be blood ties here on the table. You may be dealing with family this month, close with family this month. There is something you need to surrender, let go of, release. There is something you need to release. You do have somebody here on the table. It says girl with snake. And it says empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable boundaries. Girl with a snake. So when I see this girl with a snake, boundaries are needed with someone. You have someone in your midst that perhaps needs boundaries. I mean, it does say narcissist. I think that word is thrown around a lot. You may, in fact, be dealing with a narcissistic person in your family. That's definitely true. But for others of you who aren't, this could be a pseudo-narcissist situation. And what I mean by that is that there are people sometimes, all of us actually, that step into a narcissistic energy, right? We don't, each moment of our lives is different. Sometimes we could step into a month, a week, a day where we feel sort of self-centered, you know? So there may be someone here in your life, Leo, who fits that description, right? Who isn't a narcissist on the daily, right? But they have narcissistic qualities and they have no boundaries. It could be someone in your family. Your family, this could be two separate things, though. Definitely could be two separate things. There is something you need to release and let go of. We are going to piece this whole thing together here. You do have this card, and this card is Keitoki. I'm going to see if I could pronounce this. Guardian of the Papa Tuaniki. Papa Tuanuki. Difficult to pronounce, but beautiful card, right? Number 10 in this deck. Simply put, there is a need to be grounded here. You may feel grounding is elusive to you this month, especially with this dissociation feeling, with the sublimation card wanting to dissociate, very airy. You need to ground yourself here in pentacle energy. And a simple exercise for that for many people is to, it's called re-earthing, right? Allowing your body to come in contact with earth. This time of year is kind of difficult to walk barefoot because it's a little chilly. But, walking in the woods, doing something like that will ground you, even if it's just for a few minutes. I think you're going to need grounding this month. Or even planting. Some people transplant plants and they touch the earth and you need some sort of grounding, or perhaps meditation. Being mindful. A lot of people practice mindfulness. There's something that's needed here along those lines here, because you're having some precarious energy here. And it says, it says there are a lot of ups and downs, right? It could be your finances. It could just be fear of the future, fear of your goals, fear of not accomplishing what you need to accomplish here. Yeah. There is something precarious on the table here. Now these ups and downs here, Leo, it may be ups and downs with goals, ups and downs with finances, ups and downs because of worry. Could just be worry for some of you. You do have shopping here on the table, and this is a card a lot of people are pulling this time of year because we all shop for Christmas and the holidays this time of year. So that might be adding to your worry. It might be adding to your anxiety here a little bit about the future, about your goals, about money. You do have the Observer. You pulled the Observer. Pay attention to where you may feel ungrounded. You are going to feel at some point this month very ungrounded. Obviously, it's temporary. Most energy is temporary. So try to pay attention and connect with your space, your earth, your life, instead of trying to dissociate. Sometimes when we don't like what's going on, we dissociate. That's quite normal for many, many people, especially if you have air in your chart. So try to connect. I really like that you pulled this card. Try to connect with that power of earth and that grounding energy. It's going to suit you. It's going to suit you heavily this month. Now let's get into your astrology. Yeah, look, you do have the air card, which is interesting. You may have air highly aspected in your chart. And if you don't, I have to tell you, the air element is present in your month. And I can tell by the dissociation card with the need for grounding. And you may not feel that upon listening to this reading at the moment right now. But I promise you, at some point, you're going to remember this and say, wow, that's right. Meditate. Do whatever it is that grounds you. If you could do that, that re-earthing thing, that would really be helpful. Now, you also have here the ruin, and this is the ruin. This is a masculine ruin. It's the witch's ruin. It's called the man. And the man, it's associated with the color brown. It's traditionally male, right? Male abilities. It doesn't mean it's like divinely masculine. So it's not necessarily penis having. It's more like divinely, you're leaning on your Mars energy, right? You're leaning on fatherhood, father, protector, provider, confidence, wand energy. It's very, very Leo, strength, leadership. It's that assertive type of energy, right? So that's interesting too. You have here Taurus in the second house. Finances, value. This might be on your mind. And Taurus is a very grounded earth sign as well, right? You may, for sure, be thinking about things on the material plane. your goals, your wishes, your money, your future, your job, things like that. You have the asteroid Psyche here. It says soul, consciousness, mind. But I have to tell you something interesting. Side note about the asteroid Psyche. It's worth an estimated $100 quintillion. Think about that for a second. It's made out of precious metals, iron, nickel, gold. And that's how much it's worth, approximately, here on Earth. Now, mining it, right? If we ever just decided to throw a lasso around it, bring it down to Earth and mine it, it would adversely affect our whole, our finances here, right? Precious metal markets would globally just plunder. It would affect us negatively, is what I'm saying. So what in your life here, Leo, right? What in your life seems like a great idea, but ultimately isn't for you? Ultimately, it's not a good idea. Ultimately, it would lower your value. Ultimately, it would not have long-term positive effects. It's something to think about. You also have the asteroid Eros here, and this is eroticism, desire, and sex. Now, I'm going to do a deep dive on this for you, too. I love these asteroids. I'm really, really learning to love them. Now, according to Roman mythology, Eros was the son of Mercury, and Venus. And Venus, as we know, is the goddess of love, but also it is the planet of love and money. Okay? So according to Roman mythology, Eros was the son of Mercury and Venus. Mercury seems very important in this reading already. Being Mercury goes into retrograde on November 25th. We will be in its shadow, like I said, the week before, around the week before. So it seems to be an impactful time for you. It was the first minor planet to be given a male name. So once again, here we are with this masculine Leo energy again. Nice backstories like this. Here you have a full moon in Aries card, and it says a fiery climax approaches. So the full moon in Aries was on October 17th. What are, when we have a full moon, the effects are felt a few days before and a few days after. So around that time, Leo, what happened? There was something that occurred. There was something that went down. Expect a climactic, like a climax to something that occurred during that time this month. Very interesting. Looking at in the beginning of your month here, you have your oracle card. Let me see if I could move this so I have more room. I'm just going to put that right here. You have something that causes some conflict maybe within you, a trigger. Could be disharmony. Let's look through our tarot to see exactly what is being talked about here. You start the month off great. I mean, this is Sun in Leo. You have the King of Wands, your card, a natural born leader, right? We were talking about all that masculine energy, and nothing encompasses this energy more than the King of Wands, a natural born leader. Way more likely to take action than any of the other kings. He's an action king. He has focus. He has drive. In a Leo reading, this describes you, male or female. And this is how you enter the month. I see no problems here. Now, the second card up is the Six of Swords in reverse. That's Mercury in Aquarius. You may feel stuck or annoyed because the energy from this last card collides with the energy of this card, and it could cause possible frustration. You may be attempting to avoid something possible. You may come into the month feeling really good, and something happens to make you feel stuck. There could be a stuck energy. You're not liking it because your base energy this month that you're coming in with is anything but stuck, right? So you have this Six of Swords in reverse. And then this leads into the Seven of Cups, which is Venus and Scorpio. You may feel confused. You may have indecision, right? Based on the other two cards that oppose each other. And I can see how the oracle of disharmony can be an umbrella here. I mean, it's right. It's definitely not harmonious energy. There's opposing energies here. And so if we add up the numbers in this column and then break them back down, where we have the number 4, and the number 4 is associated with Uranus. And Uranus is kind of unpredictable, right? Uranus is in retrograde, by the way, and it's going to remain in retrograde until January. Now, for Leos, it's a good time to keep an eye on twists and turns in your career and your goals. There could be unexpected things that pop up. There could be twists and turns, or things that may try to knock you off course. You may change your mind about something. That's very possible here, Leo. So let's keep that under our hats and move on to the next column. You have, describing this moment, we have divine timing. There's trust in divine timing. There is some sort of divine timing taking place here. Let me move this. There's some sort of divine timing taking place. Let's look at the tarot. It's the Ace of Swords. Now that's great, because you go from this confusion to this sharp Ace of Swords energy. That's air in its purest form. Air in its purest form. Clarity, vision, rationality, focus. Love that. Beautiful energy. Now, in the center of your reading, the next card is the center of your month. You have the 3 of Pentacles, and that is grounding energy. That's the grounding energy. So you go from this air energy. Now, listen, air energy can be very ungrounding, but the Ace of Swords air energy it's different. It's sort of the grounding side of air. So here you have the Ace of Swords leading into the 3 of Pentacles. And this is Mars in Capricorn. This is you collaborating with someone or others about goals, what you need. You're finding out what you need to win, and you're getting advice, you're getting education. There's something other than you involved in this. And that is the center of it. It's the grounding aspect. It's what's grounding you. Something's grounding you here. And I love this because it leads right into the Empress, which is earth energy too. I mean, it can be looked at as air. Some people say she's Taurus. Some people say she's Libra. But she's very earthy. I mean, if you look at her, mostly she's surrounded by animals, and she's very pregnant with possibility, right? Fertility, abundance. Fertile. Definitely. This is a beautiful energy to lead into after the mid-month. Looks like your time. And that's divine timing. There is divine timing here at play. And I think the key here is you reaching out, or you bringing someone into the fold, someone, or more than one person maybe. It's a source outside yourself that's grounding, that's informative, that's educational somehow, okay? Now, when we add the numbers up in your second column, which is mid-month, and then we break them back down, we are left with the number 7, and the number 7 is Neptunian energy, and Neptune is in retrograde until December. Now, for Leos, it's a time there's a need for honesty with yourself. It's important. Retrograde in Neptune can show us where we may have been fooling ourselves. And with that sword of truth there, I can see that. You cutting through and saying, okay, I think I see where I made mistakes, or I see where I didn't try hard enough, or I see maybe I was trying in the wrong direction, or I see that I need grounding here. It seems like you're really coming into something here mid-month. And I really like that for you. So on your last leg here, it looks like it says regret, repression. It wouldn't surprise me looking at the rest of this reading if it was some sort of repression. You holding something in, you not sharing something, you feeling the need to hold something in. Let's look at the cards and see, all right? You do have the 3 of Swords here in reverse. The 3 of Swords in reverse. So this is Mars and Gemini energy. It is healing. It is letting go. I mean, we talked about letting go, surrendering, right? So it looks like at the end of the month, you do surrender something. It's an upward turn for the better. It is absolutely an upward turn. You can see something clearly now. This leads into the Eight of Swords in reverse. And this is Jupiter and Gemini. Eight of Swords, freedom, release, surrender, release, freedom. Seeing things clearly. Maybe leaving a self-imposed prison. This leads into the Three of Cups energy, and this is in reverse as well. And this is Mercury in Cancer. And, you know, judging by all the other cards in this reading, I'm going to say that this is the need to withdraw from social activity, to get on track, or to recalibrate your goals. The energy's ripe for this. So don't hold it in. You may feel like you need to not. Maybe someone is pushing your boundaries here. Maybe someone is a little self-centered this month. Maybe you have to put your foot down and really do something here for yourself. You have to push a boundary. You have to push someone away from your boundary. I mean, that's the way it looks to me. Now, when we add this column up and we break it back down, guess what number it is? It's the number 5. And guess what planet that's associated with? Mercury. Again, we have Mercury, right? And we have it going into retrograde, like we said. This numerical breakdown is perfect for your reading. Mercury is a big freaking deal. Mercury also rules communication. Maybe you need to communicate with someone here. Hold on, my dogs. Just realized UPS pulled up. I'm hoping that I don't have to pause this. Anyway, you see, like Mercury rules communication, you may have to communicate with someone here. You may have to. Could be a family member. Could be a person that you're romantically involved with. It's a little precarious. Okay? Definitely. So let's move on to your challenges. So I've been calling these warnings. I changed it to challenges. A lot of people take warning and they take it to mean something awful is about to happen. And I don't want it to give that impression. It rarely means that. So there is a sense of detachment here. And this detachment could mean anything. I mean, it's in your challenges. So does it mean that you're too detached? Does it mean you need to detach? I'm personally thinking that it could be both. There is something you need to detach from here. It's just no doubt, right? You need to surrender it. We talked about this many times. But there's also something that you may detach from and dissociate from within yourself that you need grounding with. So you kind of have to be put on the smart cap and look at yourself clearly and say, okay, I'm working on myself. And so what does that mean? Each individual Leo is going to feel this differently, right? Now, let's look at your tarot here. You pulled an extra card. So in your challenges, you have the Four of Wands in reverse. This is Venus in Aries, right? Your divine counterpart, male or female, may get in the way this month. Then again, this might be your family, right? This is the happy home turned upside down. Now, don't get too crazy about this. This doesn't mean divorce. It doesn't mean, the end of a family unit. It just means problems, miscommunications, boundaries that are pushed, problems that need to be solved, right? And you have this Six of Wand energy in reverse. This is Jupiter and Leo, right? You will at some point this month feel lack of reward, lack of recognition, lack of success in some way. It is going to be temporary energy, but you're going to feel it. Okay? You have this Page of Cups in reverse in your challenges. And the Page of Cups in reverse is Moon in Cancer. Dealing with someone emotionally immature. Maybe someone needy. Maybe it's a child. Could be a child for some of you, but I think that, judging by most of your cards, for many of you, this is a full-grown person who's just a very needy, very needy, at least this month. Now, you also have the Two of Wands coming in sideways here, right? And this is Mars in Aries. Planning is a choice. Now, this is coming in sideways. My sideways cards are always choices. Your challenge is going to be, do you make time for yourself or not? Do you plan for your future or not? This is sideways for a reason, Leo. This is a choice you have to make. Maybe you need to detach from somebody while you do it. I know that's easier said than done with some personalities, but it just looks like it needs to be done. Now, when we add the numbers up here and we break them down, we have Jupiter, the planet of success, right? You have that Jupiter in Leo card. Where is it? Yeah, it's the 6. So you have like the possibility of great success with the seeds you plant this month. You really do. But it's a choice. You have a sideways card here, and it is going to be a choice. So if you don't do the work, you're not going to reap the rewards. I'm not saying you're never going to, but it won't be as quick as other Leos who do the work. I guess that's my point. Okay. So let's move on to your blessings. So with your blessings, it says self-worth and expectations. What are you expecting of yourself, Leo? Is your self-worth tied up in what you attain? I'm sure it is. I mean, people say that that's bullshit, but it's not, especially for a fire sign. Yeah, I understand that. Your self-worth may be on the table right now, right? So you have here the King of Cups in reverse. The King of Cups in reverse. Sun in Scorpio, right? You could be dealing with a Scorpio here, male or female. It could be you that may be overwhelmed, right? You may want to control your emotional reactions at this time. Maybe you find a way to control your emotional reactions at this time. It is a blessing to do, because I think, yeah, I do think that it's important, and I'll get to why in a second. You have the 2 of Swords here in reverse too. This is Venus in Libra. A coming out of a hesitancy, an unstuck, seeing things clearly. You see how like she's choosing to be blind? Choosing to be willfully blind? It's in reverse. It's a blessing coming out of that. That you're taking one of those swords and you're using it in your Ace of Swords, and you're becoming the Leo you know and love here, right? This is Mars in Leo again. This is Mars in wow. I just realized something. Okay, I'll get to that. Ironic. It's Mars and Leo energy, standing up for yourself, protecting what's yours, being a little stubborn about it, and your self-worth and your expectations click in. I love that about you. Now, guess what? When we add the numbers up in this column and then we break them down, it is the number 9. Guess what? Guess what planet rules the number 9? Mars. Mars enters Leo on November 3rd. You can't make this up. And it's going to stay there until December 6th. Now, what does this mean for you? Your ambition, your competitive mindset, your possessiveness will all be on the forefront. It is masculine Leo energy. Assertiveness, aggressiveness. You might want to be careful with spending. That does come into play. You might want to be careful with conflict, possible conflict, because with all that aggressive, assertive energy, you could get pissed off. You could. So there's that. Fascinating reading. Fascinating reading. Okay, so let's do your lucky numbers. You know what, before that, let me pull a couple of these cards. And I also, well, you know, there's so many things I still have to do. Before we do that, let me clarify some of this stuff, okay? So let's go back. You come in as the King of Wands at the beginning of the month. And something sort of knocks you, you collide with something here that knocks you off balance, that makes you confused, that makes you frozen in some way. Look at this. Leo, it's time to act. Can't make this up. That's you. That's Leo the Lion. You have this mid-month energy, and I love that the mid-month energy is great. You have throne. It says position of authority. You are the person on the throne. You are the empress. Whether you're male or female, she sits on a throne. She is full of abundance. She has grounding earth energy. And here we go. Money will be coming to you. Your goals may be here on the table, and your goals with, could it be love? Sure. I think for most of you, it's not. Most of you, it is coin. It is goals. It is long-term goals. You have these warnings. It says Mountain Road. You're on the road to success. This came in reverse. I think at some point this month, you're going to feel unsuccessful. We talked about that with that 6 of the Six of Wands in reverse. You're going to feel unsuccessful, but it is temporary energy, and you have major challenge to overcome. And you know, with this Seven of Wands, God, it looks like a challenge, but damn it, it honestly looks like he is up for this challenge. There's no lies here. Yeah, there's no lies here. You are going to be put in a position this month where you're going to have to seek out some grounding energy here. I think that part of you is probably going to want to dissociate from the problems, but I think Spirit is trying to tell you to get a grasp on them. If it's family that's getting in your way, temporarily you have to put up boundaries. If it's a person that you're romantically involved with, they're going to have to understand. If you don't do these things, your life will not implode, but you'll be on a slower road to success. And you come into this month with such great energy, Leo. You come into this month with such amazing energy. You should not waste this month. There's too much going on. Too much going on, especially with that Mars in Leo. Just don't waste this energy. It's really important energy. It really, really is. Give me a card for Leo, please, for November 2024. You have roots. It says ancestry, legacy, tradition. Yes, and it is the number 10. Number 10 seems to be a thing too, right? Where was the number 10? Number 10's over here too. Number 10 is very Pluto. But you have ancestry, legacy, tradition, right? And yes, it could be your family for some of you. But I do think the roots is where you want to lay down your roots. You want to root yourself. You want something to take root. You want to grow your own roots. You want your own thing. At the bottom of, wow, this looks very similar. Look at that. Look at these two cards. It's portal. But look at these two cards. Look how similar they look, right? And I did say something was associated with the color brown. I believe it was, now I don't remember which card it was. You remember though, don't you? I'm telling you. No, I believe it was this. I believe it was the male. The color brown was indicated somewhere. But you have this thing that you want to take root. You also have a portal you want to walk through. And I get that. It's all over this reading. You're ready. You're tired of waiting. You're tired of being confused. You're tired of hitting walls. You're tired of wishing you were somewhere else. You want your life to take root. Your goals to take root. You want to take advantage of the energy this month for that. It won't be the last chance you have, Leo, but it would be a waste because you have so much great Leo energy to attach yourself to. Don't waste it. Okay, my friend? I will see you next time. I wish you all the best. Namaste. Oh, wait a minute. Don't go anywhere. I forgot the rest of it. I forgot your lucky numbers and everything. I always do that too. So, your lucky numbers, right? There is actually more to this reading. The lucky numbers are 6, 7, 3, 10, 39, and 5. Now, more interesting fun facts. You had, we mentioned a lot of numbers, but the two numbers we mentioned the most were 3 and 7. The number 3 in tarot, anyway, when there's a lot of 3s, it's a time of productivity, possible productivity. Use it. The number 7 in tarot, you may feel challenged, but you're up for the challenge. Perfect, 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 right? Now, the planets that were mentioned the most were Mars, how apropos, Venus, Mercury, and a runner-up was Jupiter. But Mercury, Venus, Mars, apropos, especially Mars, okay? Especially Mercury, right? Now, the signs that were mentioned the most were Scorpio, Libra, Aries, and then runner-up Leo, Cancer, and Gemini. We mentioned a lot of signs, but I just wanted to mention what we mentioned the most of. Now, I am truly going to say goodbye. I wish you all the best, Leo. Namaste.